It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That is the biggest lesson that I've learned over the last 12 months. So I'm at VidCon in Los Angeles right now. And yesterday I did my biggest, highest profile speaking gig I've ever done, as you can see. But what's interesting is, how did I land that gig? I met the right person at the right time. So I met a friend at a networking event and she has a very successful personal development business. So I went to her housewarming gathering a few months later and I met another mutual friend and he was like, Mike, come to VidCon, we'll pay, come and talk on our panel. And here I am just 1 month later doing my biggest ever speaking gig. So what got me here was not my grades at high school or university. It wasn't the daily habits that I've been doing. It wasn't the goals that I was aiming for. It wasn't even the hundreds of podcasts that I've listened to or the hundreds of books that I've read. It was meeting the right person at the right time. When I look back at the last 4 or 5 big events that have kind of happened with me either personally or my business over the last 12 months, it was always triggered because I met the right person at the right time. It's my 3rd coffee of the day, super jet lagged, but fighting, pushing through. So VidCon was just one example. About a year ago, I met up with someone for coffee. She watched one of my videos and she noticed I was in Vietnam, as was she, and I hired her as my brand manager. And within 30 days of working with us, she doubled sponsorship revenue. Within 60 days, she tripled sponsorship revenue, just from that one relationship. I've never been to a VidCon before, but I'm loving it so far. So business and just life in general, it's all about the people, whether it's customers, whether it's prospects, whether it's business acquaintances, whether it's friends, whether it's family. It's all about these people. And I learned this about 10 years ago when I was stacking shelves at a supermarket and I was working there for about 2 years and then I quit. And I remember very clearly the only thing that I missed about that job was the team that I was working with and the relationships that I built along the way. When you do surround yourself with a lot of other people, it's ultra important that you keep your personal information safe. And one way to do that is by using this video's sponsor, NordPass. So NordPass is a secure way to remember your usernames and passwords. My team at Playstack is growing steadily and I use a lot of shared accounts and passwords. We used to just send the passwords over Slack or email, but that was quite time consuming and not very secure. But using NordPass is a lot more time efficient because we can store all of those login details in one place. NordPass also has its own password generator, which I've literally used twice already just this morning to make sure that you're using super strong passwords. But my favorite feature above all the NordPass features is the data breach scanner. So the scanner automatically scans leaked databases and it will let you know if you're using unsafe passwords. You can see NordPass Business in action now with a 3-month free trial at nordpass.com/MikeD and you can use the code MikeD. I started using a password manager maybe 4 or 5 years ago, or honestly, it's one of those things that once you start using, you will never go back. A few months ago, I received a DM on LinkedIn. I didn't know the guy, but he said that he liked my YouTube stuff and my LinkedIn stuff, so we started chatting. He ended up joining us at Playstack as head of client acquisition. I went out last month to Mumbai and met him. He's now brought in more clients in the last 30 days than we've had in the last 6 months combined. And that came from just one cold LinkedIn DM. So I've got a business acquaintance called Rick, and he not too long ago sold his business for $500 million. Now, what's interesting is that he boils down a lot of his success to networking, the people that he met, the relationships that he built. This is what he said about networking.
I tend to think the best way is like some kind of sandwich that goes like, say something you really like about the person you're reaching out to. Like you're giving them not just I like you, but like, here's what I like, here's why it's so important to me, you know, and here's me saying, keep going, do more of that.
Yeah.
You've done it. You've started the process of building up a muscle.
Yeah.
And it's a muscle, just like going to the gym would, of engaging.
Now, I keep talking about networking, and I don't like the term networking. It seems very transactional, and I really want to highlight this, that networking is more about giving than it is receiving. And I know Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks a lot about this, where he says that he always tries to give at least 55% of the value in any relationship. I love palm trees. I really love palm trees. Is that weird? So I've talked a lot about how networking has benefited me, but I'll give you an example how I've benefited other people, right? So 10 years ago, I was traveling in the Philippines and I met some really good friends, and one of those friends, his family really took care of me. Like they really took care of me. And so we've kept in touch. We talked quite a lot over the last 10 years. And then just recently, his father needed eye surgery because he was going blind. And I paid for his eye surgery. Now, he showed me the invoices, the hospital bills and things like that. I didn't ask for them, but that's just a perfect example of how I've benefited other people as well as other people are also benefiting me. It's the same when small creators or small YouTubers, they come to me, they ask me for advice. I'm more than happy to find time to go for coffee with them, to really help them out, to really grow their channel. And it reminds me about something that Evan Carmichael said a few years ago, and it really was a long time. It's stuck in my mind since then. He said that the number one thing that he looks for when hiring someone to work with him is the energy that that person brings, right? What kind of energy is that person bringing? Is it positive energy or is it negative energy? It's the weirdest feeling vlogging in such a crowded space. This is probably my 5th or 6th vlog I've ever made, but I'm really relying on our video editor Simon to make this into something decent. Similarly, Warren Buffett was asked, what personality traits do you look for when finding a business partner? And he says he looks for 3 things: energy, intelligence, and integrity. And he says, without the last one, nothing else matters. Because I feel like when it comes to building relationships, trust is, in my opinion, the single most important component when it comes to building any kind of relationship, whether it's business relationship, friendship, family relationship, it doesn't matter. Trust, in my opinion, is the most important component. The more successful you become, the more wealthier you become, the more people there are that are trying to steal that success. So if you're working hard, studying hard, really hustling, don't forget networking, meeting people, going out to conferences, building relationships, because honestly, when you get into the habit of building relationships constantly, it's absolutely life-changing. And another thing that you shouldn't forget to check out is this video sponsor, NordPass. Get your 3 months free at nordpass.com/MikeD and use the code MikeD. Done.